in the second part of the experiment, before doing anything, again we have to calibrate it. In order to do that one, we have to click the voltage to the -2 to 30 volts, then click the calibration button. Then after that we have to bring the current to the, okay, this is 10 to the power of -11. Then we have to unplug all three cables, red cable, blue cable, and then black cable. We have to unplug them. Okay, just a moment. We have to unplug them. Then we have to bring the current to the 0. As you can see, it's almost 0. So just a moment. Okay, we brought it back to the 0. Then after that, we have to click. Once it's 0, we have to plug all the cables back. Blue cable, red cable, and K cable. Make sure you tighten well. Then you press to the measure. Then after that, you take 4mm diameter of the 4mm aperture. Make sure that the cover of the halogen lamp or mercury lamp is closed. You put 4mm diameter aperture. Then you start first with a 436 nanometer filter. Okay, you place it here, back. Then after that, you make a table. In the table, you have to take the certain notes from current and voltage. So let's perform the experiment. So you remove the cover. Once you remove the cover, you have to play with the voltage. You have to play with the voltage. Just a moment. You have to play with the voltage in such a way that you bring it to the 0, 0. Okay, you make a table. You make a first table. You write down voltage and the current, and the filter is the wavelength of the filter is 436 nanometers. Okay, so you bring the voltage to certain value so that your current becomes 0. You take the notes. Then after that, you have to bring the voltage to the 0 and until you get certain current. So you bring the voltage 0, then you write down your current as a 17 amperes. Okay, in that way you have to add 2 volts, 2 volts, 2 volts until 30 volts, and you have to take the readings of the current. So now I'm going to place it to the 2 volts. Now I put the 2 volts, and then I have to write down current, for instance here 60 amperes. Okay, then I have to again go to the 4 volts. I have to write down 4 volts, and then current is 91 amperes. So in that way you have to do it with the increment of 2 volts until 30 volts, and then you have to write down all your currents. Once you have done with this experiment, then you cover the mercury lamp and you replace the filter. So for the next one, you have to put 546 nanometer filter. Then you have to repeat the table once again. So wavelengths will be 546 nanometer filter. Then you make a table where you have voltage, current. So you have to repeat the experiment same way, and you make second table. Then after that, you replace that filter with a 577 nanometer, and then you repeat the experiment once again. In that way, you can accomplish the part 2 of this experiment.